Hello everyone, Drudge here. Welcome back to the RuneScape video. Now today was going to be a Chronicle episode, but they're having some technical difficulties with their newest update, and it's causing a looping, constant loading when you first log in. So instead, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a tour of going to the Al-Kharid, the desert town. Now later on, I will go down further into Salfanim, Narda, and Polnovich. But for now, we'll just go over to Ardone. But first up, if you're coming from Taverley/Berthorpe area, the easiest way to get there is just by teleporting to Lumbridge through the Lodestone network. As Lumbridge is pretty well the closest town to it. Now there is actually quite a bit to Al-Kharid. There is some notable things to take notice to when you're there. You can already see Al-Kharid whenever you first teleport. Now before I even go to the town, I want to show you some notable areas. So, if you take notice, some of the map areas are not completely updated when you first go into the area. But one notable thing is Cam the Camel. He is for a clue scroll, level 3 clue scrolls, the hard clue scrolls. Right up here we have the fire rune, the fire area. Fire altar, there we go. If you go a little bit more north, there is a mining area, but that area is not too great for it. There is one more thing up here. There is a dungeon, which eventually I'll go around and I'll show you all the different resource dungeons from the engineering that you can unlock. However, if you head east here a little bit, up here you have a quest area, which is also the Pizzazz area, the wizard training area. Now since I'm near the duel arena, you'll notice that my overrides have gone away. It's because whenever you're in that area, you cannot be wearing overrides, because it could give you an unfair advantage in the battle if somebody didn't notice your equipment versus your overrides. Okay. Yeah, that's the quest area. Now, if you go up north past this gate, there's actually two things noteworthy up here. That might be something eventually. It kind of looks like they're going to lead to it. Alright. First things first is you have the Brilliant Wisp, which is level what? Yeah, level 80 Divination. And then right over here to the... a little bit north of that is this. This is the cave entrance. This is the fungal creature habitat. I forget exactly what it's called. But if you get any fungal creatures, whether it be the fungal parasites, the fungal magi, etc., they're in there. That is actually a Slayer task, and actually a decent one at that. Okay, now for the other thing that is at the northern area of this is the duel arena, like I had mentioned. That can be a popular area. It is primarily used if you are not using it for the duels. It is used for clue scrolls, because there is a clue scroll that does take place over in here. Well, directly north of me, not this room, but the room next to it. And you will need you will need another person in order to help you get in there. Alright, up next we have the town itself. Now the town itself, it does have some shops in here, but the only ones that are kind of notable, they have some stuff here for fun, so, you know, there is that. Otherwise, it's mostly, there's a lot of questing here. There's some shops you can actually sell stuff to. Like over here's a jewelry shop. If you can see the jewels in the bottom right, they will buy jewels. Up here, even though there is a rune scimitar there on the table, you can't actually buy the rune scimitar. If you go into the shop, the best you can do is buy the mithril. So if you do need a mithril that bad, you can get it there. Right there is a lodestone. Highly recommend, as always, getting those as soon as you possibly can. Over here is a shop. This is just a regular general store. To your northeast of this, actually, if you look at the compass, is a crafting store. Now, the crafting stores aren't as big of a deal as they used to be, but that's because you have more of the stuff added to your tool belt, so you don't really need to worry about most of the molds, but there is a few you do have to buy. Right here is actually a leg plate store, and the one right next to it is the leg plate store. So they both have up to Adam. So whether or not if you're using it to get your gear updated, or if you just want to get it for invention, there's actually a few spots you can buy that kind of stuff. Now here's another spot for Lenza. Nothing really noteworthy over in here, other than right here there is actually a tanner. You can tan your hides here. And now by the tanning of the hides, you got your regular leathers, you got your snake leathers, and then you got your different types of dragon hide leathers. So you do need to tan them. I just use the one near Berthorpe because it's probably about the same distance overall. To the southwest corner of this area is actually the bank, and in the very heart and soul of the town is the palace, and the palace is huge, as you can see. And this is only the first story. I believe there's a total of 3 stories to this palace, which is, you'll explore more of that whenever you start doing quests. So once you do the quest, you'll see more and more. Two more noteworthy areas to check out. But these areas you do got to be careful. Okay, if you go down these steps, you're actually in the heat of the desert, so you will need either those water pouches, or you'll need like an enchanted water tiara. However, you're probably not going to be over here too long, because you'll end up probably going through the dark tunnel if you are going this way at all, and that is where the Ripper demons are at. Up here, the investigate mound areas, those are actually desert strike worms. You do need a certain level to even attack them, and they will not attack you. They are passive unless disturbed. And over here is the...
Hey, you going to the Abbey?
And over here is the Abbey. If you haven't started the quest, you have to start the quest to get over there. But that is just for quests, which also unlocks Ripper demons. Now there is more, obviously there's always more to their quest than what meets the eye. Also, if you go right over here, now this is actually in the desert itself, but you will see the Dominion Tower. I mean, it is a giant tower, so you can easily see it from the Abbey. Pretty cool looking, if you ask me. The scale of your guy compared to that tower. Alright, there's one more noteworthy area I do want to show you guys, and that's the Shantae's Pass. Reason being for that being noteworthy is because it's basically your passport into the desert. That's a little witch's hut that'll be more worthy whenever you start doing the quest for it. So, not too much to worry about here. And when you are in this area, you do need to be slightly careful because you can attack the Shantae guards, and they do have a level of 15. So if you are low level, just be a little bit careful when you're over here. You don't want to accidentally attack the guards and end up dying. Otherwise, you have Shantae here himself, which... water skins, that's what I was saying about. But he actually has some decent things, and the reason being is because there's rope, buckets, jugs, and feathers. The biggest one being is actually the feathers, because after a while, if you're fletching your own arrows or bolts, you're going to run into an issue of getting feathers unless you want to go out and kill a ton of chickens. So this is actually a very good way to get your feathers without having to worry about them. Now the only thing is, it does cost 6,000 gold if you want to get the full 1,000, but overall it's worth it. I mean, you're going to be making more money than you will be spending, so it's worth it. Also, right up here to the east of this area is actually a chest, and in this chest is your bank. Now I'm not going to actually go into it, but that is your bank. Now this little jail cell here, that is for quests later on. You don't got to worry about that unless you plan on doing the quest. But that'll actually do it for the Al-Kharid part of the video, and in one of the following videos I will explore further into the desert, and I will show you the desert heat and different locations throughout the desert. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, later guys.